Shalom, Kahalo Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bahashim Kodash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them, that taught us his truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers are pushing the word, in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect. Tabernacle of David, I'm the brother Yeshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily Update. Shalom and salutations to you. We're going to keep this quick. This is Wednesday, the third day of the week. All right. And we can jump in right here. Second Ezra 15 and 14, because we're in a very precarious time in the world. Okay, we're involved. We have entered into the worst time in history ever since the world was created, and it won't ever get this bad. When it reaches the crescendo of destruction, culminating in the ICBM nuclear missiles destroying the whole of America and other parts of these continents on the globe. The world will continue on, but the world as we know it will come to an end. We're at the end of an age. Okay, when it says the end of the world, that world goes back to eon, which means age. You have the word world, which is cosmos, meaning a certain group of stars. You have the word oikomene, which means the inhabited earth. Okay, and then you have the word eon, which means an expanse of time or an age. All right, so we're at the end of this age. Okay, and it's going to end much like it did with Noah and the flood. God is going to bring the world as we know it to an end, this time with fire. What kind of fire? Nuclear fire. So when those ICBMs are launched in what they call the acronym MAD, M-A-D, mutually assured destruction, that will be the end of the world as we know it, or the end of this age. And then the kingdom of heaven, what is called the kingdom of heaven in the Bible, is the age that starts after the world as we know it is destroyed. And the one that you call Jesus is going to be instrumental, his real name is Yahushai in the Hebrew. He's going to be instrumental in bringing that destruction and destroying the world as we know it, and then setting up the kingdom of heaven in righteousness. So that's what we're undergoing right now. And that's what World War III is about, culminating with the ICBM nuclear missiles and mutually assured destruction. All right? Simple as that. So this is 2nd Ezra 15. We're going to read about it. 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world, right? What world? The world as we know it, this age, and them that dwell therein. Okay? For the sword, there's your missiles, and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. There's your World War III. Okay? And then what comes along with World War III is the destabilization of nations. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Okay? And it's just going to get really bad. All right? Come down here, 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So things are about to get really, really, really bad. All right? And if you know about these things, you can prepare your mind for what is about to happen and try to endure until the end. Right? All right, so with that being said, we'll get the update from Stephen Banoon, right? Right here at Israeli News Live. This is yesterday. UN investigate Ukraine atrocity. So what we just read, right, is going on over there right now. Where is it? All right. Hey, it says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses. See how bad all of this is? That's what's going on over here. And when that war reaches over here to these shores, right, or the effects of war, when China shuts down and shuts down the ports which they own in America, no more food or supplies are coming in, okay, there is going to cause repercussions right here in Babylon the Great. Right? And that's what's going on over here, where in a war zone or in a war, a nation or a country that is undergoing war, guess what? What's going on over there? Well, let's find out.
Good evening, friends. Stephen Benoon here with Israeli News Live. And listen, one thing real quickly to let you guys know, some of these live ones I've been doing with my phone, for some reason, are not posting on our YouTube channel. I don't really know why. The answer to that would be, but it's just not happening. And
because the grid is about to come down, all right? It ain't going to be nothing nice going into what we're going into.
But I did want to let you guys know, I did get the video up on Patreon, Supernatural Beyond What We Think. I think you will really appreciate this video here. Just some personal testimony along some things that Mike spoke about on COT, on the channel that he does there. It really caught my attention, and some things that I was aware of, so I decided I'd share some of that testimony with you, along with what he said on that broadcast. Now, there's also a lot of things that he said on that particular broadcast that I do want to speak about. So it's going to take me a little bit of time to get that information put together, because I want to address certain issues one thing at a time because of what he's alluding to. And it's things we've shared with you already, but I want to go back and remind you what we shared with you, and along with what Mike is saying, so you can kind of paint the picture, get a better idea of what's going on. Just quickly, though, one thing I wanted to bring up, and I am going to be doing a meeting tomorrow to find out more about the situation in Ukraine, what's happening in Europe. Hopefully, we'll be able to bring some updates for you on that there. But this was very disturbing. 11 Russian POWs were brutally executed by Ukraine's military, and they filmed it. So I want to play this clip for you right here, so you can hear as this lady here talks about it. And I don't think there's anything graphic in here, but just to be aware, could be. But let me play this clip for you here so you can see what's going on.
11 Russian prisoner of war soldiers were brutally executed by Ukrainian military from the Kiev regime. They filmed it themselves. Now, this is a war crime. This violates the Geneva Convention. These men were unarmed, laying on their bellies.
Right. Now, if you'll notice, she does not show the execution. I appreciate that there. There were 11, of course, later. Ukraine claims that, one of them was going to shoot us or something like that, some nonsense like that. The United Nations is looking into this event here. They were all shot in the back of the head, and at least allegedly, this is what we're seeing in there. And I don't know if there's any other footage on that there. I don't see it as far as in this lady's video here. But what an atrocity. And by the way, it's definitely not the first time we've seen atrocities that have been committed by Ukraine. And of course, Ukraine has also alleged too that Russia has done similar types of things. We know that we had the video we shared with you a little while back where Ukrainian, the Azov battalion was castrating that of Russian soldiers that it captured.
The Azov battalion are Nazis. Look it up.
And so it's very brutal what is happening in this war, and troubling at the same time. I'll be updating you more.
Did he say trouble? Let's hear that.
Brutal what is happening in this war, and troubling at the
troubling. What kind of trouble? Jacob's trouble.
Same time. I'll be updating you more though here tomorrow evening. I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you there, and like I said, quite a bit of information here. So over the next several days, in fact, I'll be trying to update you on things that I think that are very pertinent, very important. And there is some things that I put on our Patreon that's very important as well. But
all right, that's enough. Just that little tidbit, and I'm gonna get 3 quick precepts, and I'll end it. Okay, we'll start with Jeremiah 30. Or is it 5? Jeremiah 30 and 5. 7. Jeremiah 30 and 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. This is what I was saying before I played the video, that the time that we're in now, all right, is going to be worse than any other time ever before on the earth, or will ever be after the missiles destroy what is left of this age. Okay? Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Okay? So that none is like it. That day is great, so that none, we're in a time that has never been ever before. Well, it's going to explain it. Let's go to Matthew. This is the Old Testament. It's going to say exactly the same thing. Matthew 24 and 21. I believe it's 21. Right here. Matthew 24 and 21. For then shall be great tribulation, bad time, such as was not since the beginning of the world, this age, to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Since the world was created to this time, it'll never, ever be this bad again. Read it again. For then now shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. See that? That's the time we're in now. And it's going to escalate in a crescendo. It's going to get greater and greater until you hear these words right here are going to resound in you. Oh, that guy was right. It's going to get so bad. Everybody is going to experience it. Nobody's going to be able to get around it. All right? The only way to get through it is if you endure until the end. Right? Where is it? 13. Matthew 24 and 13. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be what? Saved. Right? It says, 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So the elect are going to be saved. Out of what? Out of the time of Jacob's trouble. Those days. What days? The days of great tribulation. That have such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Try to understand, wrap your head around it. Daniel 12. We'll end on this. It's going to say exactly the same thing. Daniel 12 and 1. And at that time, what time? Now shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, the children of Israel. And there shall be a time of trouble. What time? Now. It started already. And it's only going to get. Hear about that zombie virus? How about that Ebola coming at you? Right? And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. Okay? And the elect are going to be saved. And at that time, thy people, the elect of Israel, shall be delivered. Everyone that shall be found written in the book. That's the elect. So it's all saying the same thing. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, the nation of Israel, even to that same time, or any nation for that matter. All right? A time of trouble such as never was. We're in that time right now. What does it say? Michael's deliverance and the end of times. The end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. All right, so we're going to end it right there. We hope that the elect were edified. You brothers and few sisters, with that, I'm going to say shalom.